Hey y'all, so I'm back with another video. We rolling them out. We're getting them out. We're getting the videos out. We being consistent. We staying on this consistent train, okay? I'm gonna be talking about my pregnancy experience and the things that I went through during my pregnancy. Because this video is long overdue. I'm like, I got time to film right now, even though I got a couple more things to do. But we don't need a long intro. Let's just get into it. So basically, as y'all know, I have a 1-year-old son, and if y'all watch my previous videos, you'll see the gender reveal as well as the how I found out I got pregnant, as well as my first pregnancy experience. Well, not my first, but my last pregnancy experience and how I lost my son, my first son. So go watch those videos, whatever, so y'all could be caught up. I mean, the gender reveal don't really count, but watch the other two so you can be caught up on, how we got here, okay? So basically, I'm gonna just tell y'all my symptoms and things that I went through and how, my overall experience, right? So let's start with my symptoms. I literally only knew that I was pregnant because I didn't get a period, okay? And my boobs were kind of tender. But other than that, I barely had any symptoms. I didn't have no morning sickness. I didn't have no specific cravings. I wasn't, moody. I mean, I guess I was moody and emotional, but, nothing, crazy. It wasn't, people be talking about, pregnancy and they think all these things. I didn't really have that. My pregnancy was smooth for the most part, right? So let me stop saying right because I hate when people be saying that. But so yeah, it was smooth for the most part. Literally the first couple weeks I was getting headaches crazy, and that was really because I wasn't drinking enough water. So you really have to be hydrated. So once I started drinking water, then my headaches went away. And also wanted sweet things, so I was craving sweets. So if I wanted cake or cookies or brownies, I just had to have it. Please give me this right now, because if I don't get it, it's gonna be a problem. But it was also savory things too, but nothing specific. It was just okay, that's what I want, I need it. And then it would just go away in a day, and then I didn't want it. Oh, you know what? I did have heartburn. I had heartburn. Anytime it was red sauce, cranberry juice, even though I had to drink cranberry juice my whole pregnancy, I had to keep mixing it with water because I kept getting heartburn. Sometimes I barely would eat anything and I still would get heartburn. So that's number one. And of course he came out with a head full of hair, because that's the whole saying. I stopped eating beef, or really meat, period, except for turkey sandwiches. I wanted turkey sandwiches, but I think that was mainly because I really couldn't eat turkey sandwiches unless you have cooked turkey or whatever. So I don't want a sushi, but I think that was just because I couldn't have it. But yeah, I did not want meat, red meat. It literally, before I got pregnant, I barely was eating it like that, but I would eat it, right? But then once I got pregnant, it was just yo, this junk is nasty. Don't cook it around me. I don't want to smell it. It's disgusting. I'm going to throw up. And then now, till this day, I still you'll rarely see me eating a burger. It needs to be a turkey burger or I won't eat it. Except the other day at lunchtime, I ate a burger from Burger King and my stomach freaking started hurting immediately. So I just don't eat it anymore. Just cut it out. No. So yeah, so those is really the symptoms and the things I was going through. So now we're gonna get to the more medical side. So if you've seen my previous story, you would know that I have an incompetent cervix, right? And basically what that means is that, how can I explain it? It's like a short cervix, right? So basically when you get pregnant, as the baby get bigger, your cervix is more likely to open early as the baby get bigger, basically. And, when I first found out I was pregnant, that's immediately I was nervous. I'm like, oh my God, I'm scared. Like, I don't want to go through another preterm loss. Like, I don't want to deal with that. Like, I want to make sure, I can give birth to this child at the right time. So basically, I knew before I even got pregnant again that I knew I wanted a home birth or a natural birth, and I didn't really want to deal with the hospitals at all. Like, my last experience, it just really turned me off. I'm like, this is not what I don't want to be dealing with this. Please watch my last story time for that reference. I will link it somewhere, either in the description bar or the cards or whatever it can be. And because of that, I didn't want to go to my OBGYN that I had at the time that I was pregnant, because I would have went to the same hospital or whatever, and I just did not feel comfortable. He wasn't a bad OBGYN, but I didn't feel comfortable going to the hospital. I really didn't want to go to the hospital, period. So I basically was looking up places that accommodated like home, natural, things like that, birth or whatever. And I found someone in the area, and I looked at the reviews. It was mixed reviews, but you're gonna get that anyway. So I'm like, let me just see, because I know for a fact they had a facility basically that allow you to do like a natural birth. And then it was like I forgot what it's called. If I remember, I'll put it on the screen or something. But basically they had a birthing center. That's what it's called, a birthing center. They had a birthing center where it looked like a room, and it had a bathroom where it had like the big hot tub where you can give birth at, or if you want to stand up and shower, like it just gave you that freedom, right? And because of I would be considered high risk, it was like a possibility that I wouldn't be able to give birth in the birthing center, right? But we'll get there, right? So I keep saying right, and I just told myself I don't like when people say that. Why I keep saying that? But yeah, so when I found the OBGYN, it was during, like, COVID had just basically started or whatever. So I had to wait to go, because I found out mad early. So I had to wait till like 10 weeks to go and actually physically go to be actually check to see if I was pregnant, even though I knew. I had to wait till I was 10 weeks. And then I was like seeing the midwives that worked there. And I told them my situation, my past, whatever it can be. And because of that, they wanted to basically monitor. I had to go to this specialist every week to check my cervix, right? Because they didn't want to put stitches or give me like the pills, whatever the case may be, to prevent my cervix from opening up, because they did say it's a possibility that it don't open up at all, because just because it happened the first time doesn't mean it's going to happen the second time. So they just wanted to just basically wait it out. And obviously the reason why I was going every week to get my cervix checked is to make sure my cervix is not opening. And by that time I already knew like what I was looking for, right? So, I would go every week. Everything would be good. Everything would be regular. And okay, I don't know. I'm gonna do another story time about my labor and delivery. But basically, I'm just gonna explain what else I went through in my pregnancy. So, when I went to the doctor, I don't remember what doc. I don't know if this was with my OBGYN or if this was the specialist. I don't really remember, but I know that I kept, I think this was my OBGYN. I kept, when I went, they looked at my iron, they looked at, all of my stuff. I had to pee in the cup every week. Oh no, that wasn't every week. That was every couple weeks or whatever. And they noticed that I had a yeast infection, it was either a yeast infection or BV, which is bacterial vaginosis or something like that. And that's basically because my hormones were like going crazy. So I had to take, what's it called? Probiotics. And that's why I had to drink cranberry juice the whole time, because they kept reoccurring or whatever. And they just wanted something to keep my hormones basically balanced and stuff like that. And they did say like it's kind of normal for women to experience that during pregnancy. So I was doing that. And then I was also doing what is it called? Oh, iron pills. I had to take iron pills because my iron was low, which I think my iron was low before I got pregnant, but it made it even more low when I got pregnant, right? So this is like all over the place, but I remember the day before my birthday, I had an appointment to the specialist, right? Normal, regular cervix check appointment. Mind you, when I went in, I'm fine, I'm regular, I'm chilling, that's it. So like I said before, I always like kind of knew what I was looking at when it came to my cervix because I was going every week. So at this point, I knew what I was looking at. Even when because you know, sometimes the people that's doing the ultrasound, they don't really tell you anything. The doctor really have to tell them or whatever. So the ultrasound technician, you know, some will like, oh yeah, the baby's good, you're looking good, whatever. This time, this specific day, the day before my birthday, she wasn't really, I don't know if it was the she or he, because I remember I would switch back and forth between two, and I think it was the lady, and she was like, yeah, she wasn't really saying anything. So, and then when I was looking on the screen, I noticed something was different. So I'm already getting nervous. I'm like, dang, like this, I don't think this is looking good, like, because she was mad quiet, she barely was saying anything. So she barely was saying anything, and then she's like, oh, okay, we're just gonna wait until the doctor comes. If the doctor's gonna, you know, I just gotta talk to the doctor and she's gonna come in and talk to you or whatever. So at that point, I knew something was wrong because it's like, we ain't never do this before. What's going on? So I already knew that when she left out, I told my fiance at the time, even my husband now, I told Al, I'm like, yeah, I think my cervix is short. Like, I think, you know, my cervix is starting to open. Like, it's not looking good. So he's like trying to stay positive. Like, no, everything is fine. Like, you're good. Whatever it may be. I'm already crying at this point. Tears already rolling down my eyes. I'm over here like, before I leave this out, I was 20 weeks at this time. Exactly 20 weeks. I was exactly 20 weeks. And if you know, before, I lost my baby, my first child, at 21 weeks. So I was going crazy. I was like freaking out. So the doctor finally comes in and she basically tells me, like, your cervix is low. I mean, it's opening. We're gonna have to go get you admitted to the hospital, and then where the specialist thing is at is in the hospital. So they literally just had to transport me to the other side. So like, yeah, we're just gonna admit you right now, and we're gonna run some tests to see if we can do this surgery to put the stitches in you, because if we don't do it by tomorrow, we don't know what's gonna happen. So now I'm freaking out, going crazy. So mind you, my mom knew that we was at the doctor's or whatever. So I was telling my husband, I'm like, yeah, I gotta call my mom because, you know, I need to let her know what's going on because we're not coming home tonight. Like, this, I gotta be admitted. Mind you, this is a day before my birthday. So I called my mom. Well, first of all, I didn't want to even call my mom because I was crying, and I knew that she would get more worried because I was calling her. I mean, because I was crying, I was gonna get her more worried, and she's already like, she already be panicking all the time. So I really didn't even want to call her. I think I might even call my dad first, because I don't know, I just be so scared to worry my mom. So anyways, I end up calling both my parents, whatever, letting them know, trying to like reassure them like everything's gonna be okay, even though I'm over here like panicking inside. Like, I just want to make sure everything's okay. And it made it worse because it was COVID, so no other person could come there. Like, they couldn't see me, they couldn't come visit me, they couldn't do any of that. So it was just hard on them too, because they knew, like, you know, they didn't want to, even though they knew Al was there, they didn't want me to go through it, you know, just, you know, they want to be there for their child. So anyways, sorry for the toilet moving if you hear that. I'm trying to stay still, but you know how that go. So anyways, yeah, so they end up having to do all right, so it's called a Amnesiosis. I don't know, it's something pronounced like that. And basically what that is, what it's usually used for is to check to see if the baby has like an extra chromosome or anything like that. And it basically is like they put a needle in your stomach to take the amniotic fluid or whatever and test that, right? So I think it was just like a week before I was supposed to get that test, but I ended up telling them just do the blood work, because they were saying, like, you know, it's different results, not different results, but like the blood work is not as strong or something like that. I forgot what they said, but I told them, I'm like, I told them just to do the blood work, because I'm like, it don't really matter the result of what it is. If he got an extra chromosome, that's just what he has. Like, you know, it didn't matter to me or whatever. So I had told them, I'm like, yeah, it don't matter, like, just do the blood work, whatever, and then that's fine. I guess it wasn't as accurate, like, it was just a little bit less, whatever. So anyways, then that's when I was at the doctor, and she was like, yeah, we're gonna have to do this test because we want to make sure that you don't have any infection or anything like that, because they kind of didn't know why. Like, even though I had an incompetent cervix, they still wanted to know why, it was opening. I don't know. It was whatever. But anyways, they had to make sure I didn't have any infection or anything like that, because they was going to have to do basically like a little surgery or whatever. So they had to stick this long behind needle in my stomach, which they numbed me first, so it wasn't even that bad. But it was just scary. Like, the whole experience was just scary. Like, I just did not want to have to go through that. But at the end of the day, I'm like, I'm gonna do whatever I had to do to make sure my son. And at this time, I didn't know what I was having. Wait, did I? Oh, I didn't know I was having a boy. I did. I had the gender reveal before my birthday. So I didn't know, yeah. But yeah, I was like, I just want to make sure, I'll do anything to make sure my son is good. So they do that. They run the test. Everything's good. So they admit me to the other side, to whatever. And basically, I had to get my cervix stitched up, right? So they had to wait till the next day, because I think they waited till the next day because the doctor wasn't there. Like, the doctor that had to do the stitches, she usually, I don't know if she'd be covering for my OBG, but I forgot why she had to do it. But basically I had to wait till, I don't remember why I had to wait till the next day. I don't know why I had to wait. But anyways, and you could kind of tell that the doctor was not trying to, I guess it's their job to do this, but you could kind of tell like it was something more, not more, but like she was like making it urgent. And like, I don't know, the way she was talking, it was just like a little weird. So the next day come, and I had to get this like spine, it was almost like an epidural, but stronger than an epidural. And basically the doctor, so let me just tell y'all. So I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm all over the place. I'm sorry, y'all. This junk happened so long ago, and I just don't be remembering stuff too well. But basically, the next day come, the day of my birthday, I'm in the hospital, freaking getting, everybody wish me happy birthday. I'm over here stressing on my birthday. And so I get admitted to the surgery side or whatever, or I don't know, whatever side. And they have to do like an epidural spinal thing. It was something stronger than epidural. And I had to like sit over like this, and basically with my head down and stay as still as possible, because I was staying up for this procedure. And I just want to let y'all know I was crying so freaking hard because I was so scared, and freaking snot was running down my nose. And the nurse was like, she had to hold, because you had to hold your shoulders like a certain way. So I'm like, she was holding my shoulders, and I'm like, got snot running down. Like, I know sis see the snot. Like, can she please pass me a tissue? So it was that was embarrassing though, because like it was dead ass snot. Like, anyways, so yeah, so then they laid me back, and then like my legs were like in the air, like almost like as if I was going to give birth, but I was like laying back. And that's what's called operating room. So yeah, so then they start doing, and mind you, I can't feel nothing past my legs. Like I can't feel, below, so I can't feel anything. Like I can feel like pressure, but I can't feel anything. It was just so weird, because they started doing the procedure, like putting the stitches in, and like I'm feeling that it's something happening, but I don't feel it. So weird. So I was just kind of trying to stay calm the whole time. The anesthesiologist was, next to me, the other nurse, they were just checking on me. I'm just like looking around like, okay, like, and I think it took about 15 to 30 minutes. I'm not really sure. They had music playing, so I was just trying to focus on the music and seeing the music, because I was still pretty nervous. Like, I don't know, I was just like just so nervous. So I'm just listening to the music, just trying to get my head out of things. So when I was done, the doctor basically told me, like, if I didn't have that appointment yesterday, I would have been in the same situation before, because they caught it at a time where it was like, if my cervix was open even a little bit more than it was, and I think it was open, like, I don't remember how much they said, but it was like she had to get in there. She had to really like sew it together, because it was like opening enough where she wouldn't have been able to do anything if we waited one more day. And I'm just like, yo, that's God, because like, imagine if I didn't have that appointment. Like, And honestly, my cervix was open a little bit more than they thought. That's why the doctor was like, so like, she was just like, yo, you're so lucky that you came. Like, we're happy you came in when you did and stuff like that. And you know, I always schedule, and I think that was because it was like every Thursday. And like it was something going, like I was contemplating about going on the doctor to the appointment on the day of my birthday. I mean the day of my birthday, because I'm like, I kind of didn't want to do that, whatever. Like, just imagine if I would have went either the day after or the day, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just wouldn't have been good. So anyways, so I was able to go home like after a couple hours. Like, I just had to get my legs, like I had to use I couldn't leave without using the bathroom on my own, like without a catheter or anything like that. So I had to just wait until basically my legs came back to filling. And yeah, they gave me medicine for the pain. And I think they gave me antibiotics as well, just to avoid any infection. I don't know for sure. But yeah, and once they did that, I basically had to, I didn't really, well, yeah, no, my OBGYN came in the next day and she basically said, yeah, I'm just write you a letter saying you don't have to go to work, or whatever it may be. So I'll end up going on disability because I used to work at the bank. And even though when I worked at the bank, I barely like did movement, because this time we was able to sit down because it was COVID, whatever, but they just didn't even want me to be in that environment, which I understand. So I basically was out of work the whole time until I gave birth, and that story is for another day, which I'm probably going to film like next week, because that story, my labor was not nearly planned the way. And the thing about it is, I didn't even plan it to the T, but at the same time, it was not nothing I wanted to do, because I know most of the time when women have birthday plans, they don't go how they want it to go. But girl, my plan didn't even go, not even close. I mean, maybe one little part, but that was it. So yeah, other than me basically not doing anything, like at that point I got the stitches, I didn't even have sex, and I should have asked the doctor if I could, but I was just so scared that I'm just like, I don't want to do nothing that is going to compromise anything. I don't want to do nothing. So from 20 weeks till I gave birth around 37, 38. It was like 37, 30. It was really almost 38 weeks. So for that time, I just was sitting in the house, not really doing much. Like, even to the point where my mom and my husband didn't even let me drive. Like, I wasn't even driving. Like, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I could drive. Then, like, what if it's somebody that's alone? They're gonna need to drive. But they didn't want me doing anything. So that was just my experience. I had a pretty good experience this time. I really made sure that I found people that would actually care and had the decency to look out for me, because my last experience really scarred me. And yeah, so let's like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. Stay tuned for the story time of my labor and delivery. I have some footage, so footage will be included in that video. So yeah, I'll catch y'all in the next video.